Hey everyone, D-Dub Squizzy here, with kind of an unorthodox video. I guess it's not that unorthodox. I've done this a couple times now. We've done sort of one-off videos. This is Sword Flight for anyone who's curious, that I'm going to be playing in the background, but that is not the point of this video. So, a while back, I released a video about the new book that I had written and released onto Amazon. I put that video up, I talked about it a bit, and played a game in the background. I said that I would eventually revise it, because I knew there were a few issues. And then when I started going through to revise it, I noticed a lot more issues. And so I took it down, and I revised it 3 or 4 times before putting it back up. I know it's still probably not perfect, but it's significantly better now than it was before, at least in my opinion. And so, yeah, I'm just here to play the game and talk about it a little bit, I suppose. And like I did for the last video, I kind of want to open this video up as a forum, kinda, for anyone who wants to talk about it at all. If anyone reads it and wants to talk about it, this is sort of the place where that would be expected. So, really, honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say about it in the video. I've already written if anyone reads it and is at all interested, I have already written the sequel, at least the first rough draft, and haven't gotten to actually doing that yet, but I do have more for that book in the works. And if anyone looked at the book initially, or because you can read a sample of it before purchasing it on Amazon, and notice some of the issues I was talking about, and that turned you away, I do not blame you at all. That was rough. Way rougher than I thought it was. Some things are just my style, but a lot of it was not. And was mistakes that I should have caught and done better with. So I've made the effort to do that. I do encourage you to go back and check again if you have before, and see if you like the look of it. If you don't, maybe my writing style just doesn't suit your interests, and that happens. But if it was because of actual issues with my writing itself, then yeah, I do ask that you take another look. I know it's kind of begging. Well, it's just straight up me. I'm asking people for stuff. Not asking you to blindly throw money at it, because I don't think I've earned that. I don't think anyone's earned that. But if you like reading, and you like fantasy stuff, and, I have done that, so, and I did put work into it. It didn't get a whole lot of attention before, which again, I guess I was a little premature about it. I always am of the mind that you don't want something to sort of sit in limbo for too long, right? There must come a point where you decide enough is enough. I'm just going to put whatever I got out there, and if people don't like it, then they don't like it. And so that's what I did. But I did that a little prematurely, in my opinion. Who knows, maybe it wasn't that bad, and I just thought it was, but especially in the second chapter, there were just a lot of glaring issues and a lot of mistakes. And one of the biggest things that bothered me about it was the lack of standardization. I didn't realize, but there's some optional grammar and spelling choices that we have when writing anything. Things like Oxford commas, or one of the things that if anyone reads my book, you'll see pretty routinely, British spelling instead of American. I prefer not all British spelling over American spelling, but a lot of words. I prefer having the U after the O in words like honor and armor and color. I like that. What was the other one I'm thinking of? Right, things like scepter or center, where the R is before the E. I like the look of it more, and so I just kind of did that. I took some Canadian English words, or spellings as well, and just things like that I liked to use more. But I realized going through it that, oh, those are worse. I would have been fighting out there. That I had not done those with any sense of standardization beforehand. It was all over the place, that book was. And so I went through and I standardized a lot of that stuff. I fixed a couple issues. Many of them were pretty minor, but a couple of them, like switching a character's name around, which I actually did without realizing it, I fixed that. And so, yeah, it's, like I said, significantly better than it was, in my opinion. Some people just don't like reading, though. I mean, you know, this is a gaming channel on YouTube. I expect anyone who watches this, well, not anyone, I expect a lot of people who watch this aren't interested in reading anyway, because you're watching a gaming channel on YouTube. But if anyone is, you know, that's there. I don't know, I don't really have a ton to say about the book itself, partially because if anyone is interested in reading it, I don't want to spoil things, but I don't know. I didn't really come in here with an exact purpose. Anyone who watched the first video, or who will watch it now, will know a lot of the things that I've already said or could say about it. And if anyone does read it, this is something that I will kind of harp on, and they like it, please leave a positive review for it. It's hard to get your name out there. I paid for some advertisement for it once, a little bit, but some advertisement. And it was pointless. I'm starting to think that most of those sorts of advertisements are completely bots. None of them are actually real people, which is useless for me. So, okay, everything's trapped. I didn't know that. So yeah, getting some actual positive reviews to get eyes on it would be super handy. And if anyone does that, I would very much appreciate it. Really. How do you lock a weapon rack? Let's see if there's a trap on this. Like I said, though, I guess I don't have a whole lot more to say. I don't know, maybe this will just be a really short video. Oh yeah, for anyone who's been following my other gameplay, particularly Swordflight, and is curious what in the world this is, what's going on here, this is my paladin that I've talked about on my current wizard playthrough a couple times, who is one of the strongest characters that I've made yet. I don't even know what it is about him. I feel like I haven't done that much different than with other characters, but I got a couple good armor points out of Tumble, which I've been putting points in as often as I can, so that certainly contributes, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just an overall better setup. Also, can she actually... No, she cannot disable that. I don't know. I think I'll probably end this here. This has been a very short video, if that's the case. For some reason, I thought I had more to talk about, but there's no point to if there's nothing of real substance. The real reason I did this is if anyone was interested, if they had seen some of the shoddier portions of the work, and that turned them away, but they still watched my channel. That's part of the reason this is really getting made. I guess you could call it an apology, but not really. Just I fixed the problems. It wasn't that I thought it was perfect before. I just wasn't paying close enough attention, I guess, and completely missed some things. And so I made this one to show that I did notice those once I really started looking through it. Like I said, I'm of the mind that you shouldn't just eternally keep trying to make something perfect. Everything is always going to have flaws, and if you're waiting till it's actually perfect, you will never ever release whatever you're doing. Whether it's a show or a video or a book or anything else, anything that you're working on, any artwork, and I use the term loosely, that someone is actually putting their work into, if they want it to be perfect and they're waiting until it is before releasing things, you will never ever release it. Because we're all human, everything's going to be flawed. So I figured, well, there's some flaws, but not that glaring ones. Like, there were more than I thought. And so, yeah, I went through and adjusted some things. If anyone is interested, please give the book a view at least. Like, take a look at it, read a sample, see if you like it. I've also, if the price was an issue for people, I can only lower the paperback so much because it is a paperback book. There's a minimum price on it. I lowered it as much as I could. The ebook I lowered significantly because that one has less restrictions on it. When I originally did it, I set the price of the paperback to what I thought would be okay. Um, I don't know. I just it seemed like it was a low price in general, but also kind of not. And I didn't want the ebook to be so dramatically lower that it seemed like I was gouging people on something. So I kind of kept it similar, but it didn't have to be what it was. So I went ahead and lowered it. So if anyone does want to read and is trying not to pay too much money, go check that out. If you have Kindle or Prime or things like that, I try to enter my stuff in some promotions or see what can be done about that. There's not a ton going on that front yet. They're very, very recent republishing. So there are some limited benefits you can get out of that. But yeah, if anyone does want to check those things out and see them, please do. Those are there. I would appreciate it. And if you do like them, please give them a positive review. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it for this one then. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.